These shorter, darker, and cooler days can have a major impact on our mood. And with the holidays quickly approaching, it can also be stressful, even lonely for many people. I'm joined now by Dr. Caroline Fenkel, the Chief Clinical Officer for Charlie Health, to discuss what you can do if you're experiencing maybe these winter blues. We don't ever want to think of the people being down in the dumps, but it does happen this time of year, Doctor. Can you tell us a little bit about Charlie Health and how you guys are helping people?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Charlie Health, our goal is to be able to help individuals who need more than once a week therapy.
Okay.
So these are individuals who are struggling with anxiety, depression, maybe even substance use disorder, are looking for maybe a group of people who understand what they're going through.
Sure.
Maybe their peers. So we offer things like group therapy, individual therapy, as well as family therapy, psychiatry, medication management, and we do it all virtually. We made it get as accessible as possible, take all insurances, and work to try and get and help individuals to really heal.
Yeah, seasonal affective disorder. What is that exactly? How can people kind of work through that?
Yeah, so when we think about seasonal affective disorder, we think about individuals who are really sensitive to patterns and changes in weather.
Sure.
So what that looks like is anytime that sort of these days get shorter, oftentimes it means that you can't go for your morning run.
Right,
it means that you can't necessarily get outside.
It throws off your whole schedule for many people, right?
Absolutely, especially people who love being outside and love being active.
Sure.
But in addition to that, the sunlight itself can be really healing and helpful with that vitamin D. We all talk about that.
Yeah.
So just that alone, even if you're not necessarily outside, coming in through the windows can be really impactful for your mood. It can create things like sadness, worry, anxiety, and sort of that feeling of not like you can't get outside, you can't get moving.
Sure,
you know?
sure. We're starting to touch on the symptoms a little bit.
Yeah.
What should people, if they're going through some things, what should be some indicators that maybe they are suffering from this?
Yeah, I always like to think a lot about just like sudden changes. So suddenly you find yourself sleeping in more. Suddenly you find yourself feeling more worried about spending time with friends. Suddenly you find yourself not really wanting to participate in things that you used to really love a lot. And then in addition to that, maybe more anxiety, some worry of going into work, feeling like you might fail somebody. Those might be some of the signs that you might be struggling with seasonal affective disorder.
Alcohol and drugs play a role in some of that too? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it gets darker quicker, so you might be more likely to start drinking earlier in the day, so that can definitely impact it, as well as self-medicating things like trying to get out of bed. You might be drinking a lot more coffee to try and do that. You know, there's all sorts of ways that we think about how you might self-medicate to work through something like this.
A lot of what we've been discussing seems like it's aimed at adults, but kids can also share in some of this as well, right? What can parents be on the lookout for to help their kiddos out?
Yeah, so again, a big part of this is sudden changes. So something like they're not eating breakfast every morning. You know, I've been finding that it's really a lot harder to get them out of bed. A big thing here comes down to isolation. So, wow, they're not spending time with their friends on the weekends like they used to. You know, those types of things can be a big sign for they're feeling lonely. And loneliness is maybe the biggest epidemic that's happening today in the United States.
How can people be proactive right now and do something about this?
Yeah, so goal here is to kind of do three big things, right? What are you eating? Are you eating things that are healthy and making you feel good? How are you moving your body on a daily basis? And who are you spending time with? And how long are you spending time with that person? So the connections that you have to people who empower you and make you feel good, that's the key. Spend more time with those individuals.
Absolutely, to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
But make sure that if you are feeling like down at all, reach out, right? Friends, family, loved ones, yourself. I mean, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So charliehealth.com, pretty easy there. But your goal really is to realize that if you're feeling in a sense that you do want to reach out and get help, there's always an assessment. So sometimes people are afraid, if I go and reach out for help, I'm going to get locked into therapy and I'm going to be doing it a lot. But instead, you can go to a professional just to get an assessment, and they can help you to determine what the next thing is.
Doctor, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it.